Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar today. Is your day filled with challenges? How do you be, do, and have it all? I'd like for you guys to take a look at our first slide here. The depiction of the word life. A lot of positive and encouraging words. I see courage, hope, pride, joy, love, faith, dream. Those are all wonderful, positive words, but we all know within life itself it has challenges. And another picture I like to share here with you guys is, the different varying degrees or colors and levels of the word challenges itself. Some may be more manageable than others. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. Is your day filled with challenges? How do you be, do, and have it all? So for today's agenda, I'll do a quick introduction for those of you that don't know me, and we're going to talk about some of the life challenges that fill your typical day. And I'm going to give you some practical solutions to implement daily, simple and easy, and then talk about next steps to break through and conquer those challenges and my special offer for you. So you do want to make sure you stick around till the very end. So I will give you guys the Cliff Note version of my story to introduce myself. As you see here on the screen, I have 3 books here. So with respect to time, I want to make sure I present you with the content and the giveaways by the end, so you'll get the short version of my story here. So looking at the screen, you see the successes of my career with best-selling publications, as featured on national TV, and so on. However, what you don't see along that smile was the scars that came from suffering and adversity, or I like to describe it as the climb it took to get to the top of the mountain of success. From about age 8, 9, somewhere around there, through about 19, I faced mental, emotional, physical, and even sexual abuse. By the time I was 19 and working at Intel as an engineer, I met my boyfriend at the time, who later became my husband. And he really gave me the courage to run away from my abusive home. And as if I wasn't already traumatized of being in that environment for over 10 years, when I ran away, I had to deal with the media in my neighborhood because a SWAT team invaded my home to arrest my predator. Long story short, of legal prosecutions dealing with law enforcement and attorneys, it was then I decided to write new chapters in my life. I graduated from Sacramento State with an electrical engineering degree, continued my career with Intel, married my boyfriend, had 2 beautiful kids, the houses, the cars, and a well-stamped passport. I was basically, living my version of the American dream. Until at the age of 32, I became a widow and a single parent of a 4 and 5-year-old at the time. It was then this final spark was ignited, within me, and to really see the thread of my adversities as an opportunity for me to reach back and pay it forward to other women and children facing adversity. I started sharing my story, became a best-selling author, as you see here, an inspirational speaker, and a life strategist, coaching people. All this turned into a nonprofit portion called Joy's Gift, serving other women and youth experiencing loss or sexual abuse. With all this, I left my successful 6-figure corporate career in Intel to write, speak, and to teach, like what I'm doing here tonight. So to find out more about my story and my work, you can go to the websites listed, www.joysofyah.com and www.joysgift.org. So let's jump into why you're here today. As research shows it, Pew's research, that about 70% of the population have difficulty managing their roles and responsibilities within their professional and personal life. Basically, how do we manage this effectively and efficiently without compromising what's really important? And the three major factors, of course, would be health, our relationships, and our career and our business. So let's take a few moments to look at some of the pictures depicted here on this slide. Of course, everybody has their different challenges and situations and circumstances with life, but we all know it's difficult as it is with daily demands. And oftentimes, when we're overwhelmed, that causes stress and we don't know which direction to go. Like the picture depicts on the upper left hand corner, you know, the caricature there holding his head, all confused, stressed out, maybe with a big migraine, trying to decide in confusion which way to go, to continue straight or maybe veer left or go right. And let's take a look at some other scenarios here. The picture in the top right hand corner, it looks like we can assume it's a couple. They're well dressed, so maybe they just came home from work. Obviously, they're parents because they're holding a baby in the mother's hand. They look like they're in a well-established home with a nice kitchen in the background, but it looks like with their facial expressions or hand expressions that there's some disagreement or some anger and some stress, possibly because they're looking at a piece of paper and that has to do with finances, monies, and bills. So let's take a look at another scenario on the lower left-hand corner. It looks like a single mom here just came home from work in a beautiful kitchen trying to get dinner cooked. She has one baby in one arm and she's just frazzled and a little shocked, looking over the shoulder of her other kid who just made a big old mess in the kitchen. So she's a little bit maybe a little frustrated that she's trying to get home, get the kids settled, prepare a meal for them, and now she has to clean up the mess. So again, two varying degrees of life's challenges, but we all know it affects our daily life, our stress, our health, one way or another. And here's another example. The picture depicted on the lower right-hand corner, it looks like this lady is managing multiple roles and responsibilities. To the left, it looks like she could possibly be a mom and a wife. She's getting dinner prepared, and then another role that she has look like she's a teacher because she's standing in front of a chalkboard instructing. And then another role that she has is she's in front of a laptop, so maybe at home she's starting a home side business on her own and also learning about that. So she's also a student at the same time. And of course, since she is married, she has to maybe try to get away on date nights with her husband. So as you can see, there's multiple roles and responsibilities that come with her life and dynamics. So let's think about, how, with life, with all of our roles, responsibilities, what are some things that could affect our health or our relationships? And looking at another statistic here, sources of stress by percentage, large factors, 69% shows that it's money related. It could be like the picture that we looked at in the top right-hand corner of the couple in disagreement or maybe stressed out of paying a bill or something. And the next reason would be work. Demands at work, 65%. And of course, the economy ties in with both money and work. Family responsibilities at home as well comes in at 57%. And close to it is relationships, and that could be your spouse, your kids, your significant other, and again, our health. So I'm going to give you some strategies and solutions to your day, and you can get this free worksheet. Just go to the website bit.ly/solutions worksheet, and it's bit.ly/solutions worksheet. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to pull that up while I go through it. Again, the main problem, with life's challenges is really, with all of our roles and responsibilities, how do we manage both our professional and personal life effectively and efficiently? How do we do that without compromising what's really important? Again, the main factors of importance could be varying degrees between individuals, but mainly it's our health, our relationships, and our career and or business. So I'm going to go over 2 to 3 causes of this problem and then provide you guys with some practical solutions. So you want to make sure you take notes and make sure you download the free solutions worksheet that I'm sharing on the screen with you now. So one of the causes I believe is pretty self-evident and obvious is overwhelm. We could be overwhelmed with all that we're trying to manage in life by itself, and that's not even to factor when life throws us a curveball or a boulder called adversity. It's just managing day in and day out our daily tasks. So what are some solutions? And you want to write this down. The first main one is time management. You want to learn how to budget your time, talents, and treasures. So what does this look like? Budgeting your time really means prioritizing each day by time blocking what's important. I call it, wearing the hat. List the hat that you have to wear for a segmented time and wear that hat and only that hat until you have to move to the next role. So for example, if you have to be at work from 8 a.m. to noon, be that career person that you are. You're not in mommy mode or daddy mode, planning weekend activities, or maybe you're an entrepreneur building a side business, so you wouldn't want to be answering emails or phone calls at that time relating to your side business. And when you switch to your other role, you're putting on your other hat, be in that hat and not the others. This will save yourself from being drained mentally and being stressed out, being fragmented and essentially unproductive. And I want you guys to really know what it really means to multitask. Yes, we all multitask to a degree, like that picture with the lady, cooking a meal for her family, and then she's teaching during the day, building a side business at home, and being a wife and a mother to her children as well. Of course, she's multitasking in those various roles, moving fluidly in each one and being responsible for each role. But she's not multitasking in the sense that she's putting on all the hats all at once. So she's not the cook at the same time while she's at school teaching, for example. And another thing I like to do is really learn how to discipline your distractions. So that goes for time management. Now, what do we do about talents? Know your strengths and your weaknesses, and you want to really leverage your resources for areas you need help with. Basically, in a nutshell, play up your strengths and don't spend too much time digging into your weakness. Yes, highlight it, be aware of it, try to improve on it, but really put the forefront on your strengths. That's why you've been given those skill sets and talents for a reason. And what does treasures mean? Oftentimes we are overwhelmed because we feel overloaded and unequipped maybe to handle all of our responsibilities. So I encourage you to reassess the treasures you already have, at your fingertips. It could be resources, and treasures could be your time, your money, and also people. The key thing here is to really learn how to ask for help. So let's move on to the other causes. That was solutions for being overwhelmed. And let's look at another factor of maybe the cause of stress. And I'm going to give you guys some very basic solutions that you can implement daily, simple, practical tools. One would be, I know this sounds silly, but you've just got to try it. Learn to breathe. Obviously, we're all breathing because we're all here and we're alive, but just take 2 to 3 minutes in the morning and in the afternoon to focus with consciousness of your breathing with gratitude. And I'm not going to get into unpacking the science and studies here, but we all know, you guys have heard it or read about it online in the news. Just the simple acts of making that conscious effort to breathe really increases your awareness and productivity. Another simple solution for stress is meditation. I encourage you guys to explore the topic of meditation. If it's something that you're not familiar or too comfortable with, there's various modalities and ways to learn at your comfortable pace, so don't be afraid of it. And another thing, obviously, it's, for me, writing and music. Write or listen to music that inspire and uplift you. And of course, we all know movement as well as dancing or exercise helps as well. So those are the two main causes of our bigger problem. Again, our bigger problem with all of our roles and responsibilities, managing our professional and personal life. How do we really do this effectively and efficiently without compromising what's really important? And it also has a ripple effect or a domino effect with other problems such as health, relationship problems, and more. And just to briefly touch on those topics when it comes to health, I would encourage you to seek both traditional and non-traditional modalities of health and healing. I get into this a lot when I teach on my coaching program as far as what those modalities are, and merging the two to get the benefit of both worlds, literally Eastern medicine and Western medicine. Other problems could be, relationships, and solutions to that would be assess what's really important to create healthy boundaries and manage expectations. And of course, as we all know, and I'll flip back to the other screen that we had a few moments ago when, the lady here on the lower left hand or right hand corner, excuse me, is managing different roles and responsibilities. We know that oftentimes there might be temporary sacrifices that you need to make. Maybe you're transitioning into a new role, a new career, starting a new business, or you move to a new area and you relocated and you really can't have, quote unquote, the word balance. There's no such thing as balance, but really have a fair amount of balance in your work sphere of life versus your family, fun, and friends, but really create those healthy boundaries so it's not completely neglected, and you want to manage the expectations of the important relationships in your life. And just really, bring awareness to the areas of your life that you're compromising in. You want to do a self check-in. Is it your health that you're compromising, your overall well-being maybe? Or it could be at work, you're not being as productive as you once were. Maybe it's your family that you need to spend time more with, or it could be the finances, as we discussed in that one depiction of the couple in the upper right-hand corner, dealing with the finances and being married and having a child as well. Again, you can get this free downloadable copy of the strategies and solutions worksheet on bit.ly/solutions worksheet. And that's the one that I was sharing earlier. So what's next? I want you guys to really, encourage you guys to stay plugged in to continue your success and your progress. And the beauty of it, you really don't have to do it alone. Our next workshop segment is February 24th, and it's going to go through April 14th on the format just like this. We're going to meet every Tuesday at 7 p.m. And logistics and information on that I'll quickly go over here. but you want to make a note of the website. And again, it's bit.ly/breakthrough barriers workshop. And that's for those of you guys are on the phone instead of on the computer. It's bit.ly/breakthrough barriers workshop. So what is the workshop about? This is the workshop that was featured on national TV. It happens to be the signature program of Joy's Gift. It's an 8-week program focusing on the 4 steps. And the 4 steps are to recognize, respond, reevaluate, and rebalance. And we spend 2 weeks on each step. And I'll quickly go over this checklist so you can get a good feeling of what the workshop is all about and the benefits you will get by the end of your participation. So the first week, we're going to do a self-assessment. And why is it really important to take a holistic approach? Why should we consider our minds, bodies, and soul when we're trying to achieve our goals and true fulfillment, joy, happiness, and success? And week 2, we move into a very powerful exercise called clearing and cleansing. I won't get into that now since it is pretty elaborate. But basically, ask yourself why. You may have all the best intentions in the world when it comes to setting goals or managing everything perfectly as best as you can. You move forward with some actions, but you can't seem to get your goals and plans into fruition or manifestation. And we go through an exercise called clearing and cleansing. And it's exciting to see when individuals go through this and they'll have their breakthroughs of success right here. And that's why we do it really early on into the program. And the fun part, into week 3 is the respond step. I really have fun during the dream building stages. And we get into mindset exercises such as limiting beliefs. And we get into strategies for creating a successful plan. And you got a little bit of a glimpse in that tonight when we covered budgeting, time, talents, and treasures. So that gave you guys a sneak peek into week 3. And we also cover about midway into the program, developing SMART goals with your personal mission and vision statements and your values. And some keys to avoid or minimize secrets to avoid failure. And then we get into, since now at this point you've created a blueprint and a strategy or a development plan for you, we do a performance gap analysis, basically seeing what really works and what fits and how do we make adjustments. And that segues into the final stages of week 7 and 8, where we reprioritize, again, what's really important when it comes down to our relationships and recalibrating your blueprint or your equation for success. And as you can see, there's a few guest speakers. It's typically around week 5 through 7 and 8. And some of our previous guest speakers are experts from various fields such as financial literacy, mindset, success, health and wellness, such as guided meditation, what is meditation, as well as some other industry experts. So by the end of the 8-week webinar workshop, you will know how to find the gold in life's challenges. Again, that's the theme for tonight's webinars. How do we deal with life's challenges? How do you be, do, and have it all? So by then, you'll be able to recognize the barriers of fear, procrastination, limiting beliefs, and other roadblocks to your success, joy, fulfillment, and happiness. And you respond by creating your roadmap or blueprint to break through those barriers. Again, we go through a reevaluating and rebalancing stage to make sure that you're on point and on target. And, maybe you're at a place in your life where everything is perfect with home, work, life, your business, your relationships. But wouldn't it be nice to have something in your toolbox or in your development plan when life does throw you a curveball or boulder called adversity. So again, I'm just quickly going over some of the highlights that you guys are going to learn, maybe some of the challenges that you're facing a little bit more severe, such as abuse maybe, or loss, stress, or being overwhelmed. And I really want to emphasize there's different, varying definitions of loss. Obviously in my situation and in my experience, it came due to a death of my spouse, but we also know that going through a divorce is also a loss, or maybe you lost your job when the economy went for a downturn, or maybe you're in a place of self-discovery and you're trying to figure out where, your transformation, where you're trying to go. So why not do this with a supportive network with like-minded individuals who are not only there to stride along the same goals as you, but to really be there to support you. And of course, I will be your mentor throughout the entire 8-week process. And you don't have to take my word from it, but results are guaranteed. You can see on the screen here some of the testimonials, and I'll read some of them because I think somebody indicated from our previous session that it was a little bit blurry on the line. So I'll read just a few of the testimonials. Let's see. This one is from Bernie Dorman. He is the chairman and CEO, founder of CEO Space International. It's the largest business growth conference internationally. And he wrote, April Ford is a global lady leader he's so proud to endorse. She has developed several business global models. Assure, as a single mom, her children always come first, and coach other entrepreneurs that you are not alone. Another feedback from Nisa. Simple strategies for success. Mrs. Ford's articulate delivery of mental, physical, and emotional balancing techniques are evidence that she has been there and knows that the modern day American woman needs not only live, but to live well. And the next one from Dora. Again, I'm just giving you guys some of the highlights here. Wonderful and positive experience. April is great at listening when I speak out and share my heart's desires and goals. She coaches me to recognize a way to expand my thoughts with a more positive perspective. And I always feel like I'm the driver behind the wheel and not the passenger. This is empowering. And that's from Dora. From Mara Cruz, I feel like weight was lifted off my shoulders. From Kim, the 4Rs program is brilliant. We'll get you right back on track. And the one here from the bottom is the executive director from the Napoleon Hill Foundation, Don Green. He said some of his highlights. Each of us should seek the best advice, and April uses her knowledge and experience to help guide you through the many difficulties of life. So again, as far as your next steps, I encourage you to reserve your seat for the next workshop starting May 24th. So at this time, I could ask for your tax deductible contribution for Joy's gift to empower other women through the signature 8-week program as seen on TV, as you've seen the highlights here. However, I'd like to make you an offer so that you can take away something. Instead of just making a contribution, I'm offering you the 8-week program for $9.97. And somebody asked in our previous webinar, will we take 3 payments? And the answer to that is yes. And that's still tax deductible. So what you can experience, I want you guys to really experience and benefit on your own transformational shifts and breakthroughs. It's then you'll be able to see the value that what we're really providing women and youth going through, loss or abuse. You'll see the value of where your contribution dollars are going, which is changing lives. With that being said, I encourage you to make an investment for yourself to reserve your seat for February 24th. Again, the workshop goes from the 24th through April 14th. And I want you guys to ask yourself this. Ask yourself, what is it going to cost you in the long run if you don't make this investment for you? Will you still be in the same position or worse maybe, place if you're already in today by the time we finish the 8-week workshop in April. So, who's ready to explore more gold in their lives? Make sure you go to the website bit.ly/breakthrough barriers workshop. Thank you for attending tonight, and make sure you are subscribed to the login. I know some people for the email login, you guys are dialing over the phone, but for those of you guys that subscribe to the free webinar Life's Challenges link, you will receive the free self-assessment, the link to the solutions worksheet, again, and my offer for the tax deductible contribution, and you guys will get the free coaching program for 8 weeks. Thank